Hello functions, I'm going to do one more example of a 3x3 solving with a calculator. So we're going to do that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to check to see if all my x's are in a row, all my y's, and all my z's, and my constants. And they are. And they're all in alphabetical order, so I don't have to worry about changing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my matrix A. So I have matrix A, I'm going to take the coefficients, which is the number in front of the variable. There isn't one there, so it's a 1, it's implied. And remember that the sign goes with the coefficient. So I have a 2, and this is going to be row 1, row 2, and row 3. So I have the 2 right here, -5, and 3. My next row is a 1, a 4, and a -2. Then I have a 1 again, a -2, and a -4. That is my matrix A. Now I'm going to put my variable matrix right here, which is x, y, and z. And then I have my equal sign, and now we're going to do our answer matrix. So these are our constants. So -1, 9, -5. Okay, so now I have all of that. Now I can get my calculator. So go ahead and grab yours. Okay, also this is matrix B, and I forgot to mention that. So now I'm going to get into my calculator. I'm going to hit second matrix. It's going to take me to my matrix screen. I'm going to arrow over to edit. Then I'm going to hit enter. And this is a 3x3, my matrix A, right here. 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, 3, enter, 3, enter. Remember, it will not save unless we hit enter. Now I'm going to enter in all my entries. I have 2, enter, -5, enter, 3, enter, 1, enter, 4, enter, -2, enter, 1, enter, -2, enter, and -4, enter. And I'm going to see if that matches. So let me see if I can make this turn. So it's a little bit easier to see. So I have 2. It matches. -5. Yep, all my answers match. So I'm going to hit second matrix again. Oops. Second matrix. There we go. And I'm going to arrow over to edit. Then I'm going to arrow down to B. And my answer is a 3x1. So I'm going to hit 3, enter, 1, enter. And then I'm going to put those entries at -1, enter, 9, enter, -5, enter. Okay, so now that matches, and so I'm going to hit second, quit. Oops. Second, quit. And I'm back to my main screen. Now I'm going to hit second matrix. I'm going to select my first one, and I'm going to have matrix A. Then I'm going to use my inverse key, and now I have the inverse of matrix A. Then I'm going to take second matrix again. I'm going to scroll down to B, and now I have inverse matrix A times matrix B, which is what I want to get them to solve. Then I just hit enter, and I have my answers. And I end up with an answer of, and I'm going to write my answer in matrix form, y, z is equal to 3, 2, 1. Alright, now we're going to do this same exact system, but we're going to do it by hand. Okay, I'm going to take that same system and I'm going to solve it by hand. So when you're solving these systems by hand, we want to do something called elimination. So what I'm going to do is, because x is 1 in both of these and 2 up here, I'm going to eliminate my x's because it'll be easiest to find a constant to multiply by and to get them to 0 out. So I'm going to take a plus b, and I'm going to get x to 0 out. So I'm going to write that out. So I've decided to do a plus b and then b plus c. So the big thing is though, I'm going to get rid of my x's, and since I'm going to do that in a plus b, I also am going to do it in b plus c. So that's the big thing that you need to remember, that if you zero out the variable in 2 of the equations, you need to do it in the other 2. So I went ahead and put that I have a positive 2x and I want them to add up to 0. So I need to multiply this whole equation by negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's everything, including the constant on the other side. So I'm going to do negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 4y is negative 8y. Negative 2 times negative 2z is positive 4z. And negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. I'm going to go ahead and add all of those up. So basically what I just did right here was a plus negative 2b. That's what this is right here. So now when I add those up, I get 2x plus negative 2x, which gives me 0. Negative 5 plus negative 8 is negative 13y. 3z plus 4z is 7z. And negative 1 plus negative 18 is negative 19. So now what I'm going to do is do the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to take b plus negative 1c. And how I got that was that I could see that this is a positive x and I need to zero it out, so I went ahead and just multiplied by negative 1 to c all the way across. So now I have done that right here. So negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 2y is positive 2y. Negative 1 times negative 4z is positive 4z. And negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. So now I have x plus negative x, which is 0. Then I have 4 plus 2, which is 6y. Then I have negative 2 plus 4, which is 2z. And then 9 plus 5, which is 14. Okay, so now I have some new equations that I'm going to use. I don't know where this black line came from. Let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. Okay, so I am going to now label this. So this new one right here is going to be D, and that purple one right there is going to be E. And I'm not going to worry about the zeros when I put those together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those two numbers, or those two equations together. Okay, so now what I need to do is I'm looking at these variables, and 13 and 6 aren't very easy to come up with, but 7 and 2 are fairly small. So I'm going to find a common multiple between 7 and 2 that would be easy to get rid of so that I can multiply it by something. So really what the easiest thing is going to be to do is I'm going to multiply this top row by a negative 2, and I'm going to multiply this bottom row by 7, and I'm going to get a whole new thing. So now I'm really doing negative 2d plus 7e. That's what this is. That's what I'm doing. I'm multiplying. So I'm going to get negative 2 times negative 13, which is a positive 26y, minus 14z is equal to positive 38. Okay, and so now I'm going to do 7 times 6y, which is 42y. 7 times 2 is positive 14z. And 7 times 14, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, sorry. 7 times 14 is 98. And now I'm going to add all of that together, and I am going to get a new equation where y is all by itself. Okay, so now I did that. I added 26 plus 42y, which is 68y. Negative 14z plus 14z is 0. And 38 plus 98 is 136. Well, that looks like a simple equation that I've solved before. So I'm going to do 68y is equal to 136. I'm going to get that y by itself by dividing by 68. Divide by 68. And I get y is equal to 2. Well, now I can use that. I can plug that back into D or E and solve for z. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it back into this one. So just because the z is a 2 and it's easy. So I'm going to take e, and the original e, and I'm going to do 6 times 2 plus 2z is equal to 14. Well, 6 times 2 is 12 plus 2z is equal to 14. I'm going to subtract 12 minus 12, and I get, I'm running out of space, sorry. 2z is equal to 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and I get z is equal to 1, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Great! Now I know what my y is. Now I know what my z is. Now I can take that and find one of these original ones and plug it into that one. And looking at that, B or C looks like the easiest ones to plug it into, so I'm just going to plug it into B. I'm just going to pick B. So what we're going to do is, alright, let's see here. I'm going to take, I don't know what x is yet, so I'm going to do x plus 4. What was my y? Oh, it was 2. So I'm going to plug it in 2. And then I'm going to subtract 2 times, what was my z? It was 1. Plug in a 1 equals 9. Well, then I get x plus 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 equals 9. Then I get x plus 6 equals 9. And then I have my x. I'm going to subtract 6 from both places. So right here, I was combining like terms. So then I have, if I subtract x from both sides, this is a 0, this is a x equals 3. X equals 3. Now, let's go back to when we solved this with our calculator. What did I get? I got x was equal to 3. Well, that's what I got here. I got y is equal to 2. Well, that's what I got here. And I got z is equal to 1. So when we ask you to do this, this is what we're looking for. I need to see all your work on your assessment. Ms. Wadley will too. And we will need to see how you came up with that. If you have any questions, please let me know. How I came up with these numbers was I was just thinking of multiples that I could do to zero out certain ones. And I started with zeroing out my x's and then zeroing out my y's. Or no, I zeroed out my z's because I always look at the smallest number and what would be the easiest. If you have any questions, please let me know. But thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week.